What is the number one thing you can do to become a better sports bettor? It's actually pretty easy. Welcome back to the Green Means Go YouTube channel. It's your host, me. I'm happy that you decided to stop by. I know this sounds clickbaity. I know this sounds touty, but I'm going to explain to you what I believe is the number one thing you can do in sports betting to change the trajectory, to change the long run of your sports betting career, if you want to call it that. As always, if you guys like the content, any of the content, subscription will continue to help this channel grow. I appreciate that more than you know. A like, a comment helps show YouTube that, hey, this content may be useful. We should put it to someone else's algorithm, right? YouTube is driven by you guys, all right? It's not a machine. I mean, it is a machine, but the more that people interact with content, the more YouTube recognizes that it may be worthwhile. So any interaction you can do is massive for me. So let's get into the heart of this video, which is how can I become a better sports bettor? And a lot of people are going to throw out all kinds of ideas, right? Oh, you got to mind your unit size. Great idea. You got to have a bankroll management. Great idea. You got to take, value bets only. Only bet on value. Great idea. You got a line shop. Fantastic, right? All of these things are phenomenal ideas. But I will tell you, there was one thing that I did a year and a half, 2 years ago, started doing that changed, I believe, my career in sports betting. And that is simply tracking my bets. Any bet that I make every single day, if I make 40 bets a day, I am tracking every single one and I am putting it in this spreadsheet. So what this video is going to do is show you how I use this sheet. In the description, there is a link to this sheet itself. The link will take you here. You can download this file and you can use it as you please. Originally, this is a Google Sheet. Some of you may use Excel. I think as long as you import it and kind of look at the formulas, make sure everything carries over, you may have to make some small changes, but it should work with Excel and Google Sheets. So that's something that I wanted to set up for both Sheets and Excel users. I prefer Sheets because I can do it on my phone. I can do it, if I'm in Alaska, right? And I use my cousin's computer. I don't have a cousin who lives in Alaska, but let's say I did. And so Sheets travels with you and travels across devices where Excel may not do that. I don't know. I haven't used Excel in a while. They may have updated. So what I want to do in this video is walk you through, again, how I use this, talk about why I think bet tracking is so important, and then show you some minor adjustments you may need to make to fit your own needs. So let's begin with how I use this sheet. As an overview, on this main page, we have totals, and I have my year-to-date total listed by book. I have a column for futures listed by book, and then I have every month on this sheet broken down. Okay. I have over here my total spent. This is going to aggregate all of this. Okay, technically all of this row, and my net, which is going to aggregate all of this. Okay, so this formula is C3 through C15 plus the wage. Okay, you get the idea. Over here, these are all blank. These are the months and the days of that month listed out. I'll explain what I do with that in a second. It's going to be an optional sort of thing, but I will, again, explain how I use that. Down here, all the tabs are listed January through December, including a future spot. So let's say, let's go to today, actually. Let's just make it, no, let's not. Let's pretend we're starting the year fresh. So let's go to January, and it's very simple. Again, if you want to add columns, if you want to do anything to this, this is going to be your sheet, and I would encourage you to do whatever you need to do to make this work for you. So the first column you'll see is the book. And I have listed every book that I use. Again, if you don't have, say, Win, okay, I'll explain what you can do at the end of this video to, change out the books to match your needs. So let's say I make a bet on DraftKings. The wager column is always going to be negative. So let's say you wager $50. You need to put negative $50. If you put in $50 regular, it's going to turn green. And what that green means is, hey, look at this. That's not correct. Okay, I've formatted it to, if it's a positive number, to alert me. And I chose green. If you want to change that to a different color, yellow, whatever, you can do that. All right, so let's say you bet $50 and the payout is going to be, and to win, I want you to do the total. It needs to do the total payout, including your stake. So not just your profit, the total. So let's say you bet a plus 100 line and you're going to win $100, okay? The yes and no column is simply win or loss. Again, you can change that to W or L if you would like, change the formula. I am going to keep it as this because this is what I'm used to. And let's say that the bet was, Jokic 14 rebounds for last night, okay? What you will put here is a yes if he gets it and a no if he does not. So if you put yes, you just profited $50. You wagered 50, you won 100. That is a $50 profit for you. All right, let's say on FanDuel last night, you bet $10 to win 80 on Michael Porter Jr. first basket, okay? The detail, again, it doesn't have to be, you don't take a ton of time on do that, right? For Michael Porter Jr. first basket, a lot of times I'll just do that. Michael Porter Jr. first basket. There are some things you may want to code if you want to track a certain thing. If you want to track, a parlay. Say you do a parlay every day, 5-leg parlay. You could put a keynote here, right? Like 5-leg parlay. And what that can do is, you go through and you want to track how your 5-leg parlays are doing. You can set up a formula, that if column F says 5-leg parlay, what does column E say? And you can kind of see how you're doing on your parlays. That's getting a little more intense, but I'm just saying, use this sheet how you want, and the information you put in here can be used to do all kinds of cool stuff. So last night he did not hit the first basket. LeBron James hit the first basket, so you would put in no, and now you've lost $10. All right. The last thing I'll show you is, let's say you have a bet tonight, and it's going to be on Caesars, and you're going to bet $100 on Jimmy Butler to get a double-double, and it's plus 200. Okay, so that's going to pay 300. I do not like to leave this column blank, although you can leave it blank. But when a wager is pending, I put a dash. And what that dash does is turn it yellow and alerts me, hey, you have not entered the result of this bet. And so that helps me, again, kind of keep track of everything. So this would be Butler, double-double. Okay, and when he plays tonight, you can go on and do this. Now, I probably average 20 to 50 bets a day. And so I'll have, quite a few dashes in here, and I'll update it, usually at night or in the morning. And so these dashes help me see what I still need to update. Okay. So if you do this, and let's say this is all you bet for today or yesterday. Okay. And you go back to totals, you're going to see that your year-to-date total, you have $50 wagered on DraftKings with a $50 net. You got $10 wagered on FanDuel. You lost it, and you have $10 on Caesars, but it's still pending, so it hasn't entered as the net. Over here, you're going to see that you've spent $160 total across all books, and you have a net of $40. So in one day, you made $40. Great. Awesome. Okay. Positive, no matter what it is always great. All right. Down here, you'll see your January wagers. So let's say a month goes by, you do all that. Let's go to February just quickly, minus 100 to win 200. Yes. All right. You have a bet there. That's all you do in February. You go back over here to totals. All right, now your total is 140. Your February wagers are here. So every time you make a change on these sheets, this sheet will update. Now, what do I do with this sheet? Obviously, I use it to make decisions. I look at my bets on certain books, and I say, okay, FanDuel, I'm killing FanDuel right now. So, what am I doing? Am I getting good closing line value? Am I just making good pit? So it helps you kind of narrow in on some of the books and some of the wagers you're making, and hopefully helps you fine tune your betting so that you can continue to be profitable or to minimize your losses. What I do, and this may not be for everyone, But what helps me is every day, and that's what this massive part for over here is every day I go through and I enter what my net says. So, maybe after day one, what do we say? It said 40. And then, day two, 140. So what this helps me see is my growth. How much am I making every day? Now, it may be unhealthy. Some people say, I don't keep track daily, right? Because the swings. Some people have massive swings, and it does get to you mentally. Some people only do weeks at a time. Do whatever you need to do for that. I like doing it daily, because last night I didn't have a great night. I lost some Dinger Tuesday bets. They hit me pretty hard. But what I can do is I can look a week ago, right? A week ago I was here, and now I'm here. So even though last night was bad, in a week I'm still up. Those things are huge for the mental state. And I will say, if you're doing this seriously, it can take a toll on your mental state. So tracking is something that can help alleviate that stress or add to it, but mostly alleviate that stress. So I go through, and if I pulled up my sheet from this year, all of these columns would be filled with totals, okay? And then what I also do, is I highlight January and I insert a chart so I can see, kind of a bar chart of am I getting consistent growth? Down here, I add my monthly total. I add what my goal is. I have my goal set for the whole year, what I want to make every month. I have the difference of my goal and my total. I have what I made last year on here. And then I have what I was at last year for the running total. So this is just something that I have done for my own sake. This has been something I've built for 3 years. So I have changed and manipulated this to fit my needs. You now have access to this file. Manipulate it however you want to fit your needs, okay? You don't have to keep it the same. You're not going to offend me if you change things or do things. The formulas are in here. The format's in here. Use it to your advantage. Now, so to answer your question that you may have had, what if I don't have some of these books? Okay, 2 things. What I would recommend is taking the books you do not use. So let's say you don't use Win. The easiest thing that you can do is go up here to Edit, find and replace, type in Win, and what do you have, right? Maybe you have Bet365, okay? So you may type in 365, and you'll go to Find, boom, Win, and you'll hit Replace, and you'll go to Find, boom, and you'll hit Replace, and you'll go to, and you'll do that until all the wins are replaced with 365. Now that automatically updates the formulas too. The only thing you'll need to do is go into January, okay, and you'll go into this edit and you'll change Win over here to 365. Okay, so that would be how you can change the books that already exist in here to match your needs. Let's say you live in Colorado and you have access to a quadrillion books. I think Colorado is the state with the most books available. What you can do is you can add new books down below. I will say this, the functionality of that is not perfect for this sheet. You may need to kind of come all the way down here and just kind of start a new workbook for a total of a sheet, just because the rows are kind of wonky because these rows now intersect with these rows. So again, however you want to do it, it's up to you. But let's say it's 365. You put Bet365 here. You copy this down, and you go through and you change to match F34. So you do 365 here, and you do copy this down. Okay, so it's just a matter of taking the formulas that are already in here and adding new rows and just copying the formulas down. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, you can put a message in the description or in the comment section, and I'd be happy to answer it the best I can. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. And again, I do want to reiterate that if I had to pinpoint a spot in my gambling, sports betting career where I said, that's the thing that changed for me, that's when I started to become a better, more consistent sports bettor, it's when I did this. Okay, because you're able to look at, yes, of course units matter. Yes, of course bankroll matters, but how are you going to tell where you need to adjust if you don't know how you're performing? It's awesome to hit a, plus 1,500 parlay. Okay. But how many of those have I lost, right? It's great to win $300 on a first goal scorer in hockey, but how many of those have I lost? Okay. So tracking your bets is the number one thing that I would recommend to anyone who wants to take this seriously or even semi-seriously, right? So as always, I appreciate you guys coming around. I appreciate you guys watching this. If you have any comments, let me know, and we will see you next time on the Green Means Go channel.